Greetings and welcome to I guess we call it a double dose of the Big D podcast today. Before I announce today's special guest, please subscribe, like, share, comment, or maybe swim your way to the Spunky Spectrum Sports YouTube page where you can see all my interviews. We've got swimmers, Olympians, runners, football nuts, golf experts. What else do you want? Now, if you know me, you know how much I'm a fan of FGCU athletics. I mean, graduated there in 2015. I saw many of FGCU's sporting events, whether it be baseball, soccer, volleyball, basketball. But one sport always stuck out to me: swimming. And today I'm lucky to have not just FGCU's one of FGCU's best swimmers, but it's coach. I've got Petra Halmai and head FGCU swimming head coach Dave Rollins. Petra, if I mispronounced your last name, I apologize. What happened? Petra?
No, we're still here.
We are here.
Okay, so Petra, did I mispronounce your last name? If so, I apologize.
It's okay, no worries.
Okay, so Petra, do you remember your first swimming lesson?
Not really. I started in kindergarten. Just we had to use to boat, being in the water, and my parents wanted me to learn swimming, so I took some swim classes, and I just enjoyed it. So like I was like, I used dance, ballet, and these things, but that wasn't for me. So I just like, my parents was like, okay, let's try to keep swimming and we will see how it goes. They like never forced anything. So like if I decide to not going to practice, they were fine with that, but it's never happened.
So why did you folks want you to try swimming?
I just like, I love being in the water and just like, I felt like, I would say like I'm fall in love with this sport. So just, I think that's enough to say.
So do you have, what is the earliest swimming memory that you can think of?
You mean like when I was young, or like when I started to swim? I'm really, it's a funny thing, like I'm really talkative, and when I was young, I swam with my best friend. We did backstroke kick, and like when we stop always swim, like I always talked, and like even during the backstroke kick, we were talking to each other. And my coach was like, no, you cannot do this. And my first swim meet, I was so excited and like I was ready to go. But when I was behind the block, I didn't leave. And my dad was running there and like pushed me in the water, like you have to go. And I got second. So I was like, okay, just let's keep going.
The nervous energy gets everybody before a race. Trust me, before my first 5K, I could barely sleep. I was so nervous, and I'm sure you felt the same nervous tension and stress. So were you always I know you tried different events at FGCU, but mainly breaststroke's your event. Were you always a breaststroker?
No, I was always backstroker. Since like when I started to swim, like the backstroke was my event, and like before I came to FGCU, I think 1 year before I came, I started to swim breaststroke. So since then I'm a breaststroker.
Worked out pretty well so far.
Did you have any, Petra, did you have any swimming models?
I done PT.
See, I I can think of, yeah, you can think of the best breaststroker in the world right now, Adam Peter. I think he's won everything the last, what, 4 or 5 years? Like he's won Olympic. Yeah.
Yes.
Guess what world records he's breaking in all these meets? His own. So, coach, this one's for you. When was the first time you actually saw Petra compete?
So I mean, it's a little different when, you know, we have an international student who wants to come to school, because we don't like go to their country to get a chance to watch them swim. So the first opportunity I got to see her swim in person was our first inter squad meet in her freshman year. But I mean, with technology, we get videos, you know, practice videos, race videos, those sorts of things throughout the process. But the very first green and blue inter squad meets was the first chance I had to see her actually swim in the water.
What were your initial reactions to Petra?
Well, I mean, I knew that in practice, you know, seeing her in practice for the first couple times, you know, we had something special, but it was getting to see it's a different mentality, and she has a different mentality on race day. So, you know, getting to see her step up and compete was, and I knew something special was coming, but we kind of needed to refine the diamond in the rough, so to speak.
Is Petra practice mode different than Petra race mode?
100%.
How so?
Practice mode, I guess she's very talkative. I mean, she's a very focused and determined young woman. So no matter what she's doing, whether it's in the weight room, practice, you know, racing, whatever it might be. But I mean, practice mode is, you know, we live in beautiful Southwest Florida. You know, we can, you know, benefit from being a little bit tanner, and, you know, some days it's we call it a two-piece day when the practice might not be as hard, so the tan lines are a little bit nicer. But, you know, on she's talking with her, you know, teammates, and, you know, singing songs, dancing around, whatever it might be. Just, it's a little more laid back, a little more relaxed. But when race mode comes, it's a lot more focused, and a lot more kind of dialed into the task at hand.
Did you have any set goals for Petra as a swimmer, an athlete, or a student?
Only the goals that she set for herself. So, you know, I'm not going to put any sort of unnecessary pressure on any athlete. You know, I can give my opinions and my thoughts as to what, you know, I feel like they're capable of doing. But truly, it depends on what they believe they're capable of doing. So, you know, her goals have always been, you know, go to the Olympics, you know, go to NCAAs, you know, win events, you know, set records, all these sorts of things. So my job is to help get her there.
Yeah, so Petra, did you have any set goals of yourself before arriving at FGCU?
So the Olympic was always my goal, like since I'm young. And I remember when I came to FGCU, and first time when I met with Dave, and he was showing around, and we were standing, maybe he showed me maybe the training room, and I told him, like, I want to be in Tokyo, like I want to be an Olympian. And since then, like I like to pushing myself further, and like I like to settle higher goals, which is sometimes I feel like I put too much pressure on myself, but like always the Olympic was my goal, the biggest one.
So, what did you think of FGCU the first time you actually visited the campus?
It's a paradise, you know. It's like I will get so much tan. It's gonna be so much fun.
Well, if you're a swimmer, I can't think of a better place to train, right? I mean, you've got
Right?
90
Yeah.
and 90 and sunny. Let's see. Swimming pools live in all part of most people's homes in Florida. And where you came from, how many people actually build a swimming pool in Hungary?
Like at their house?
Yeah, how many people how many people use the swimming pool in Hungary? I know swimming's
Oh, a lot.
There are a
No,
lot of
but
home like at somebody's house. Do they have a lot of people have their own personal pool at their own
oh,
house?
no.
It's not like here at all.
No, yeah.
yeah. So Petra, do you remember your first swim meet in 2017?
That was the green and blue meet, which was first time it was really, really weird for me because I came from Europe, like we had like different culture, we are doing different things, and like we never had this kind of fun meet, and we had to dress up like, like how you say, like interesting clothes, just being fun. And I don't know, like the atmosphere and everything was like so different than at home. And at first, like, I needed time to used to it because I came from somewhere when we just like focus, like we have to swim, we have to practice, we don't have fun, and then this was really different for me.
Yeah. So what was the best bit of coaching advice that Coach Rollins gave you?
I think there is a lot. What he always gave me, he just gave me a few things yesterday. The best. That believe in myself.
Having that inner belief goes a long way in competitions, whether it's against Liberty Stetson or on the world's biggest stage, right?
Absolutely.
So Petra, are relay races or individual races more important for you?
Both, but I would say like the swimming is individual sport. So, but both, like if I'm in the water, I want to be the best. I want to do everything to make sure that I'm the fastest one. And even if it's that relay, even if it's that individual.
So obviously, Petra, you're a breaststroke queen, but from everything I've heard, breaststroke is so physically and mentally exhausting. Is it tiring for you?
I feel like always something new to learn. Like there is something new what I can learn. So, and like I always try to be better and better and better, and we try to find a way how can I be better or faster. So it's not boring, it's not tiring at all. Sometimes when I swim too much breaststroke and I have to tell Dave like no more breaststroke in the next 3 days.
So
sometimes I feel that I need rest for my breaststroke muscles.
So what's a normal training day for you?
Training day. It's different, like every second day, kinda. Usually I'm going to swim 6 to 7:30 or 8-ish in the morning, and I'm going to running afternoon, like 30 minutes running, and then 1 hour lifting and 2 hours swim. So this is like kind of day.
Dang. Being an athlete is always it's not easy, right? You've got to have that inner belief in yourself, right?
Yes.
So going into last year's national championships, you were 10th in the 200-yard breaststroke. What did it mean to be so high among the top swimmers in the 200-yard breaststroke?
Well, the first thing was like 10th. I want to be the first. And then like, I mean, like still not anymore because like I had chance to competing to NCAA because last year they canceled. Like still I have to compare Hungary and America. Like Hungary is like this big, America is like this big. And like being 10th, it's like, of course it's fast and it's good, but I want to be the first, you know?
Yeah, you want to replace the order. You don't want it 1-0. You want it 0-1.
Yes. Yes.
So obviously, since the pandemic hit last year and everything was shut down. I mean, how did training change for you?
So when the pandemic started, we didn't swim like maybe 1.5 months, maybe. But we every single day we did dry land. So like we tried to doing something which was good. I mean, like it was always difficult because like I want to swim, I want to be in the water because I knew that the Olympic is gonna be next year, and we didn't know like when can we practice again, and like it was a lot of stress. But I think at the end of the day, to take a little break from swimming was good. And I see like not just for me, like literally for everyone.
Yeah, thinking about what happened last year, and I wondered, were you hoping that that you could find a pool somewhere to train?
Yes. And like we went, like when we started swimming again, then was like sometimes we had to go like 4 a.m., 3 a.m. there, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It was crazy. There were some early days. We're fortunate that they got to join one of the club team in town, and they could participate in their practices. And some days it was at 4 a.m., but that was their only opportunity to be in the water. So she woke up and got there. It was only for an hour, but still an hour that's half this month. So I had to take advantage of it.
An hour gain to increase your fitness, right?
Yep.
So now we get to the fun stuff, Petra, and I see the Olympic rings behind you, and somebody will be in Tokyo this summer, and it'll be you because
I would say
qualified in the, what is it? I know you qualify in the 100-yard breaststroke. Did you make the 50 and the 200 too?
So I would say I would wait with this to say that for sure I'm going to Tokyo, because so I'm in the team now, but it can be changed until middle of May because we have one more European Championship, which is qualification too. I'm hoping I can go because I really want to, but anything can happen. So I don't like to say that I'm going to the Olympic now. I'm always saying like I'm 100% that I'm going when I'm in Tokyo at the pool. That's for sure I'm in Olympia. Until I just like don't like to say anything. So for now I have B qualification time on 100 breaststroke, which means like if I have a B cut on 200, I can compete in 200 too. I will compete 50, 100, and 200 at the European Championship.
Okay, so you've got the 100 B time, correct? But you need the B time in the 50 of the 200.
So the 50 is not the Olympic event.
Okay, I think it's a world championship event. It's one of those. There are so many
Yeah.
different world championship events you don't see at the Olympics. Like you don't see the 50-meter breaststroke. You see the 50-meter freestyle, but you don't see some of the other short events, which seems weird.
I know.
So, how would it feel to actually make the Olympic team?
Uh, well, still like still my goal to make the Olympic. You know, like I cannot explain. Like I feel really good. I feel really, really motivated. But first time in December, when people talked about that I made the Olympic team, it was just unbelievable. And I would say still unbelievable because the Olympic is my dream since I'm really young, and like always like I wanted to be there, and finally I can be there, you know, and just unbelievable.
And coach, I'm sure you would be. Coach. I'm sure you would be ecstatic to have one of your swimmers in Tokyo.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it's an interesting process to go through, unlike the United States qualifying procedure where you swim at one meet and the top two are going and it's black and white. Different countries do things differently. So the announcement the other day of Petra being named to the Olympic team is phenomenal. That's the goal is to be there and to be able to represent Hungary and do the best that she can. But as she said, in my opinion, it's most likely not going to happen that she's not going. But I know, in her mind, she wants to be at the facility in the water. And that's when she knows 100% for sure that she's going to be there. But, I don't foresee anything preventing her from being there, come July. So she's in a really good spot, and it means a lot. It means a lot to her family and to our program and to our university to have representation at the highest level possible.
FGCU sent a swimmer at the last 3 Olympics. I'm not sure you know this question, Petra. How many FGCU Olympic swimmers have been on the planes to Beijing, London, and Rio?
I think 4 or 5.
Yeah, and you smart cookie. I knew you would figure it out, you scholar athlete. Come on. Yeah, you would be the 6th, Petra, to make the Olympics in the pool. I think, Brooke Sweat made it in volleyball, but you would be the 6th Olympic swimmer. And I think all of them are international athletes.
Yep, that's correct.
So obviously, Petra, you wrapped up the NCAA's, finishing 11th in the 200-yard breaststroke. I know and it's funny. Your time of 206.89 was a school and conference record, and actually faster than a couple athletes in the final, if my memory serves me right.
Yes.
Yep, that's correct.
Were you hoping to make the final?
Yes, I was. I really wanted to make the final. And 102, which was a little bit like I knew that I can be faster in afternoon. It was really hard to swim my best time in the morning because I knew that I need to swim my best time or faster than my best time. On 200 breaststroke, when I swam in the morning 208.3 maybe, I was like, if I'm not gonna make the final, if I'm 17th, I'm not coming back for nothing because no one's gonna how you say, like go back.
Scratch.
Yes. And then we were standing, Dave, Katie and I were standing at the pool watching the last heat. And I was like, I almost cried. Maybe I cried that I'm going to be 17th, I'm going to 18th. And like one more 50 left. And Dave was like, you're going to be 16, you're going to be in. I hope so. And I got 16. So then in the afternoon, like I didn't have pressure because I made the final. So like I just enjoyed it. Like I didn't think, like if somebody asked me what was my thoughts during the swimming, nothing, literally nothing. Like I was counting my strokes every single 25s, but if somebody asked me how stroke did I do, I don't know. But I remember that was like the first 25 I count in English, back I count in Hungarian, and I was like, why I'm doing this? And just I didn't think, like I enjoyed to swim. So
maybe I don't know what it is, but with so many Olympians I've seen, the semifinal race is harder than the final because you put so much tension on you, thinking I've got to make the final, and then everything, and then I can relax. I don't know what it is. That semifinal race is always so not physically hard, but more mentally stressful because you think I'm this close, and now I'm thinking the whole meet depends on what I do now in this race.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Petra, if you could compete at the Olympics, obviously when I think of your event, the breaststroke, there are a couple of top females who would one of them being an American superstar, Lily King, and then who's the Russian? The Russian with the pinks. Eufemova, you might be able to pronounce her name better than me.
Yulia
Eufemova.
Akinova. This is how you say, right?
Yes. And I'm thinking, how would it feel? How would it be to swim against two of the best breaststrokers in the world?
I mean, it would be like I'm watching them to swim since I'm young, and finally I'm there. Like I can compete with them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking, how about this? Lily King, Eufemova, and you on the medal stand. I would probably think, what the heck is happening? I would get on a plane, focus myself just to watch your race.
That would be great, Dylan. That would be perfect. Well, if you can predict that and we can make that happen, then yeah, I'll buy you a steak dinner if that happens.
I get 5,000 to 1 on those odds, right? Better odds than predict my March Madness bracket. So,
Absolutely.
Petra, after this Olympic cycle is over, do you have any future plans?
Definitely. So I'm going to grad school next year, and then I want to be a professional swimmer. I really want to work with Dave. Hopefully it will happen. And there is like other Olympics in the next few years.
Yeah, Paris is only 3 years around the corner. I know you can't think past what the Euros will be, but these Olympic cycles will now come fast and furious. We're missing a year, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I thank you for swimming your way onto the podcast, Petra and Coach, and I wish you all the best. And go Eagles, go represent not just Hungary, but Florida Gulf Coast, and we wish you all the best, Petra.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan. I will send you the link to download the recording of this.
Okay, thank